I'm Michelle Paor. I'm 52 and I'm originally from New York State, although I've been in North Carolina for probably more than half my life now. Before I joined BFP, I was already pretty active. I did short distance triathlons, I did some half marathons, and did pretty well, but it got to a point where I kind of plateaued as far as performance. I wasn't getting any better, and I didn't have a whole lot of time to figure out why, other than I did a little reading and figured probably the next thing I needed to do was work on my strength. At the time though, I had two really little kids and I just didn't have time to research all that, figure it out. I had tried some gyms where they had like the circuit training machines, the stationary machines that you went from one to the next, and that was boring. I didn't get a lot of great results from that. I tried some big group classes at bigger gyms, wasn't really excited by that either, and so I felt kind of stuck. And then my husband heard about Breakaway. Anyway, he heard about it, tried it out, and he said, you know, I think this might be something for you to try. And so I came here and tried it out, and at first it was a little intimidating because when you walk in, it doesn't look like other gyms. You know, it has the rig and some of the barbells, dumbbells, the equipment looked different. But I got in there and everybody was really friendly, and the coaches told me, you know, don't worry, we'll show you exactly what you need to do. And that was exactly how it went. After I'd say maybe 1 or 2 sessions, I was like, this is what I was looking for, you know. I've achieved so much since joining BFP. First of all, I did, in the first year or so, I started noticing big gains in just overall strength. And I did start noticing my running performance got better because as I ran longer distances, my muscles wouldn't feel as fatigued. So I could go further and feel fresher doing that. But I also started noticing that my upper body was getting strong. And having been somebody that primarily did cardio stuff, a lot of running, I was always lower body dominant and just didn't feel confident in my upper body strength. But just through doing the classes, I started noticing, oh, you know, I'm getting some biceps, I'm starting to feel a lot stronger. And so then after that first year, as I got more confident just doing the basic classes, I was like, you know, I'm gonna start pushing some of that strength limits that I formerly thought I had. Like before BFP, I couldn't do a push-up, certainly couldn't do a pull-up, couldn't climb a rope or anything like that. And started working with that a little bit, asked coaches, you know, what could I do to get those things to the point where I can do a proper push-up, pull-up. And they helped me do a couple little extra exercises on the side just to build that up. And then sure enough, I was able to do those things. And so I felt like that limit got pushed out a little further. And then as time progressed, I heard people talking about Spartan races and saying, oh, you know, you ought to try it. It's so much fun. But I was not really confident at that time that I could do it because again, I thought of that as being more of a, you have to be really strong to do that. And I always saw myself as more just a runner. Some more encouragement and stuff, and I went ahead and tried it. And sure enough, I ended up doing well and loving it. So that boundary got pushed out even a little bit more, and then just kept competing in those and doing longer distances. And it's just been a fun experience of finding what I thought I could do and going past it. You know, with some encouragement and some hard work, but it was definitely, I was capable of more than I realized. So that's been a really fun part. So there's multiple layers. I'd say, of course, we already touched on the people. I just love the fact that the coaches know you. They know what kind of sports you like or what your favorite thing to do, like running, is. And they also know, like, how you move to a degree. I remember, like, way back before my injury started to be a big issue, I was starting to compensate and move in ways that weren't quite right. Like, for example, when I would do a back squat, I remember that the coaches paying enough attention to know that I was like shooting one of my hips out to the side and not moving quite right, and calling me out on that in a good way and say, hey, you know, you're not moving quite right, is everything okay? And that was actually one of the, had I looked back, that was probably one of the first clues that something was up. To recognize that level of detail, or, you know, to recognize that much about how a person's moving or what they're doing, that I think is pretty impressive. And then to just being able to see the friendly faces every day, like, and just enjoy working and accomplishing things together. It's a great feeling. I would say if you are on the fence about joining BFP, you really should try it out. It is definitely a different kind of gym. As I mentioned before, I tried other gyms with more traditional, maybe circuit training or classes, and just didn't find the same results. Certainly definitely didn't find the same community, but here I love that I walk in and I don't have to think about what I'm supposed to do. I have to show up, I have to follow directions, and I have to work hard. I can do that. Anybody can do that. The workouts change enough that it's not boring either. We do the same basic lifts so we know what's coming, but there's always a variety in the way it's programmed, the way things are combined. You guys throw, some new movements in every once in a while. I'm not bored when I'm here, and I still get an effective workout. It's the best of both worlds, really. And I don't have to think about it other than showing up and doing the work.